Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. To bring in part 3 of What If Jaune arc was the betrayed and became clone Commando. Link down in the description of the fanfiction of this, What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this isn't a scam. Chapter 7. It's the next day as both the city of Vale and Beacon are undergoing repairs. Thanks to the efforts of the clones. The 636th Legion and the Coruscant Guard have set up outposts all over Vale and Beacon as they begin the operations. They have 3 Venator cruisers hovering around the kingdom and a couple other ships. Jaune tasked a unit to deal with the remaining Grim in MT. Glenn, as well, keep an eye out for any remaining White Fang cells in the kingdom. In Beacon, teams RWBY and PNR are at the cafeteria that is still ongoing repairs. The students are being served food and doing their daily activities. Yang, I hate this. Blake, Yang, get over it, there's nothing you can do. Weiss, and don't think you can start another fight, they already put aura cuffs on you and you only have one arm. The prosthetic that General Ironwood is giving you is still on its way. Yang tried to fight with the clones around 5 times today, it ended up with her being stunned and now placed in aura cuffs to keep her in check. Pyrrha, Weiss is right, with those aura cuffs you don't have your aura or your semblance, so don't think you can start a fight with the clones. Ren, plus Yang, if you fought one. The rest will swarm you. They all nod and look around and see clones of the 636th patrolling the area and keeping an eye of things. They also see outside a Venator cruiser that landed in the school as it drops off more troops. Yang, that's the problem. It's these clones, they all have his face. I already hated seeing that faker's face, now I'm seeing it everywhere. RWBY, Yang, please stop. What's done is done. You either like it or not, but Jaune and his clones saved you from getting killed. Blake, RWBY's right, Adam was going to stirk us both down. Yang, if it wasn't for him. Who knows what would have happened. Pyrrha, and let me remind you, he saved all of us from the Grim, the White Fang, and the hacked Atlas robots. Show some appreciation for what they did. Yang, they're even helping out in fixing the school. Yang, I still don't like it. I don't like any of it. He's still the same weakling we all know. He calls himself a general and yet he led all of his so-called clones to their deaths. He's not a leader, he's a fake, a coward, a weakling, and the same can be said for his clones. They even lost the war, goes to show that they mean nothing, that they all died for nothing. What a disgrace, they are just as useless as him. Pyrrha, that's enough. Yang, to be honest, looking at this so-called clone wars, I would have joined just to watch the faker's clones die. Seeing him suffer like that for faking his way in Beacon and seeing them all die puts a smile on my face. Pyrrha, I said enough. Yang, seriously P Money, why the hell would you fall in love with a waste of space like him? He should have taken my advice and took a swan dive off the roof. That was it. Pyrrha dropped her food and lunged towards Yang, shocking everyone in the table. As she delivers a heavy punch that sent Yang flying to the ground. She went up to Yang, grabbed her by the collar of her shirt and smashed her fist into her face. You can hear a sickening crack as Pyrrha broke her nose, blood pouring out of it. Pyrrha then continues to smash her fist into Yang's face as the sound of bones cracking can be heard. Pyrrha's face filled with anger and hate that she's been bottling up that is now being released onto Yang. Ren, hey, Pyrrha. Nora, stop it. Both Ren and Nora went up to Pyrrha and tried to pull her away from Yang. Her face still showing anger. Ren, Pyrrha, stop. Nora, please. Ren and Nora were able to get Pyrrha away from Yang as she's breathing heavily. She delivers a kick at Yang. Then in a last attempt goes for another, but RWBY jumped in and took the hit for Yang. RWBY falls to the floor while they all gasped at the action. Blake, RWBY. RWBY stands up from getting hit in the stomach as they can see Yang's beaten and bloodied face. RWBY, I'm sorry. Pyrrha, RWBY, I'm sorry for everything. I wanted to stay by Jaune's side but Weiss and Yang forced my hand. I wanted to do something. I wanted to help but they won't allow it. If someone should be blamed, it should be me. The actions of my team caused all of this and I should take responsibility for all of it. Weiss, RWBY, Ren, not a word from you. You will only bring more problems with all of us. Now shut up and sit down or else I'll show you my darker side. Schnee. Nora, yeah, Blake, he's right, just stay out of this. Pyrrha, RWBY, Akoo, what's going on here? Akoo appears with 2 clone troopers as they went to teams RWBY and PRN. Akoo, please tell me she didn't start another fight with my men. Pyrrha, no sir, it was me. Akoo just sighs, and looks at Yang's beaten and bloodied up face. Akoo, take her to the infirmary and make sure to restrain her. I don't want her bursting out of there and causing more damage. 636th clones, yes sir. As the clones began taking Yang to the infirmary. Akoo, Team PRN, with me now. They nod, and began following Akoo in the hallway. Ren, so are you taking us to the headmaster's office? Akoo, yes we are, but not for what you did in the cafeteria. Pyrrha, wait really, but why? Akoo, all the clones in the cafeteria heard what she said and they relayed it to me. To be honest, majority of us would have done the same thing. To talk ill about our brothers, to those that died in the war, those that sacrificed themselves so that we can push on to victory. She basically spit at their graves. Ren, she went out of line. Nora, yeah, and her saying she'll enjoy watching you all die, she's sick I tell you. Pyrrha, I wonder what goes through that bimbo's head. Seriously, is this how her parents raised her? 'Cause they're doing a shit job. Ren, tell me about it. Akoo, but we hated hearing it, her saying that the general led us to our deaths. Pyrrha, it's a war, right? There will always be losses and you can't do anything about it. Akoo, indeed, and that's why the general always tries his best to minimize the causality levels, but sometimes the unexpected happens and you lose your men, and sometimes the general always blames himself for it. But we always tell him it's not his fault. Pyrrha, that's like Jaune, always making sure we are safe. Akoo, yeah, everyone in our legion respects him, no doubt the boys are eager to meet you guys. Nora, yeah, I can't wait to meet more of Fearless Leader's clones. Akoo, you will eventually. As Akoo and Team PRN took the elevator to Ozpin's office. When they were arrived, they were greeted with Ozpin, Goodwitch and Commanders Crocia and Milo. Crocia, ah, you're here. Team PRN saw that Crocia is showing Ozpin a map of Remnant and relaying to him all the bases that Jaune already planned. Goodwitch, I still don't understand why would you place so many bases here in Remnant. Crocia, our army is infinite, we need the base to house all our men and equipment, as well as to protect villages from bandits and Grim. Milo, the general's main priority is to help the villages that the 4 kingdoms have no intention of helping, and those are the ones that are located in the Dragon Continent and Menagerie. Ozpin, and I take it you sent your forces to Menagerie. After this stunt, no doubt the White Fang would fall back to their home. Crocia, the 41st and the Wolfpack are heading there now. Ozpin, may I suggest? Crocia, absolutely not. Team RWBY is not allowed to partake in the mission to Menagerie. Goodwitch, but Team PRN is allowed to partake in this mission, so why not Team RWBY? Milo, because the general trusts them. Team RWBY on the other hand are a bunch of irresponsible girls that think they are above the law. We've seen the reports about their actions. Ozpin, you should have kept them on a leash. Ozpin, even if I did, knowing them, they'll always find a way to sneak past us, you can't do anything about it. Crocia, then you're not doing a good job. Akoo coughed to get everyone's attention. Crocia, oh right, sorry, Team PRN, so glad you can be here with us. Pyrrha, is there anything you need us for? Crocia, yes we do, after the Battle of Beacon there are still numerous Grim that still lurk around parts of Vale. We would like you to join the clones in dealing with these pests. Nora, hell yeah, can't wait to smash some Grim. Goodwitch, you can't be serious, right? Crocia, yes we are, the general even provided them with armor and gear for them to use, even painted in our colors. Goodwitch, why are you giving them your equipment but not Ironwood? Crocia, cause he is not to be trusted, I don't want any of those Atlesian getting their gear. If they do, then all that will be left of Atlas is a dead city. Ozpin, please don't resort to that, I don't want a kingdom being destroyed. Milo, tell that to them. Nora, gasps, wait. So we're gonna wear armor just like Fearless Leader? Where is it? I want to see it. Ren, Nora, calm down. Milo, well I'm sure you guys would love what the general gave you, but now for your mission. As Crocia projects a map of the entirety of MT. Glen. Crocia, Your mission Team PNR is to assist a clone battalion in cleaning out the remaining Grimm in that area. Clone intelligence reported that the Grimm retreated to the ruins of Mt. Glen after the battle. Milo, we also heard reports that the remaining White Fang went back to their base hidden beneath the mountains. Ozpin, you'll have someone join you on this mission Team PRN. Pyrrha, so is it Dr. Oobleck that's going to be monitoring us during this mission? Crocia, no, that would be him. As the elevator doors open and the clone reveals himself. Captain Keeley, a clone that died during the Battle of Ryloth, he updated his armor with the Phase 2 and added a visor, a single floodlight on the left side of his helmet, an antenna and a modified chin extension. Crocia, this is Captain Keeley, he will keep an eye on you and see how you do with your new armor and equipment. The General trusts that you can see this through, yes. Pyrrha, of course, you can count on us. Keeley, good, cause I'm interested to see how the General's team fight. Nora, don't worry, we'll put on a show for you guys. Ren, just make sure not to go overboard. Nora. Crocia, are the men ready? Keeley, ready and waiting on your orders, sir. Crocia, good, proceed with the operation. Keeley, come on, let's move, the gunship is waiting for us but we need to stop by the armory down in the staging point. Ozpin, and one last reminder, Captain, and to Team PRN, if Team RWBY tries to sneak in the gunship or interfere with this operation, you are authorized to detain them and bring them back to Beacon. They nod and head into the elevator. Then they head to the staging ground where they see multiple Republic vehicles and equipment in the area. Safe to say they were amazed by the size of the Venator cruiser up close. Keeley, your armor is there by the crates, kit up and head to the gunship, I'll be waiting. They nod and head to the crates and opened it up. The armor they were given is the standard Phase 2 armor, with only the stomach piece removed and replaced with more padding to protect the user. They are also equipped with a comma and other tools and accessories similar to what John has in his armor, such as a gauntlet filled with accessories, extra ammo pouches, a vibro blade located in their wrist and a jetpack. They were also given the standard Republic weapons and equipment, but John decided to upgrade their weapons by using the metals used on their verbo blades for the melee weapons, and for the range weapons, they were outfitted with the cartridges for blaster bolts. Team PRN smiled when John gifted them these new equipment. They just hope RWBY won't cry or maybe drool over it. Chapter 8. After Team PRN finishes up with the gear they were given, they proceed to the gunship as Captain Keeley is waiting for them. But knowing these types of situations, Team RWBY shows up. RWBY, wait, guys. Team PRN did not want another confrontation from them, especially with Jaune. Pyrrha, hello there, RWBY. But I'm sorry, we can't stay and chat. The headmaster gave us a mission to Mt. Glen and we need to depart as soon as possible. Ren, and where's Xiaolong? Blake, still in the infirmary, heard the clones had to sedate her when she woke up. Pyrrha, figures considering how she's always on her period. Weiss, but why were you chosen to be part of this mission? And why did they give you their armor and weapons? Pyrrha, because the clones said so. Nora, yeah, I can't wait to use these. They even upgraded Monhild. RWBY, that's unfair, why didn't I get an upgrade? Ren, because we're John's team, RWBY, and he trusts us more than your team, sorry to break it to you. Pyrrha, and if you're asking if we can let you see them after this, that's a big no. John wouldn't want you treating their weapons and armor as toys. You've seen what these things can do against us, one shot and they're dead. Blake, yes Pyrrha, we know, we all saw what they're capable of. Pyrrha, and you know why John doesn't want anyone else getting their hands on this. Nora, yeah, I mean look at Atlas, their tech got stolen so easily, fearless leaders' clones are not stupid like them. Weiss, Atlas is not stupid. Blake, well, Keeley, hey, you kids getting in the gunship or what? We need to double time to Mt. Glen now. Pyrrha, sorry to end this conversation early, but we got to go. Before they left, Pyrrha made sure to tell Team RWBY what Ozpin told them. Pyrrha, Ozpin told us if you try to sneak in any of the gunships, I'm looking at you, Blake. We have full authorization, and the same goes for the clones to apprehend you and bring you back to Beacon in cuffs. Team PRN steps in the gunship as it takes off from Beacon and heads off to Mt. Glen. Inside the gunship, it was Team PRN alongside Captain Keeley and 3 of Keeley's clone officers in his company. Nora, so do you mind introducing yourselves? We know John Keeley, so what are your names? Keeley, John Keeley. Nora, well, you're all fearless leaders clones, so I think it's my way of calling you that. Court 3267. Well, majority of us were never given a name, since all of us died during the Battle of Ryloth. But if you want to know who we are, my designation is CT-3267. The clone with the rangefinder and the pouch on his right shoulder introduces himself. Court 4484. My designation is CT-4484 and this is CT-5999. The clone with the Marco binoculars introduces himself and then his other companion. Nora, oh, how about this? How about we'll come up with some names for you guys? Court 3267. I mean, it could work, but we need a name that will really stick with us. Ren, I'm sure we can come up with something. Clone pilot, eyes up everyone, we're making our landing shortly. The gunship arrives in MT. Glenn is Team PRNC. The clone forces are all setting up and the Venator cruiser is hovering around the mountain. They made their landing as they were greeted with a clone captain. Hauser, you're late. Keeley, didn't expect you to take too long. Keeley, what can I do? Hauser, the kids had to deal with a problem. Hauser looks at Team PRN as they exit the gunship alongside the 3 other clone officers. Hauser, are they ready? Keeley, they are, they're willing to prove to the general that they can serve alongside us. Hauser, good, now come on, the commander's waiting for us. Keeley gestures Team PRN to follow them as they reach the command outpost where Commander Pons is waiting for them. Pons, Keeley, you're here. Now we can get started. As Pons shows a holographic map of MT. Glenn, the area is filled with red markers all over the area, but the mountain is painted red. Pons, alright everyone listen up. We scouted out numerous Grim hordes in the area and led all of them to areas where we can ambush them. The ATEs will provide us support and take out all the high-level class Grim while we go and charge in. The ATRTs will spearhead the charge. Our main goal is to take over this mountain. Reports stated that the remnants of the White Fang that attacked Vale are hiding there. We got orders to apprehend these faunas, so once we enter the caves set weapons to stun. Pyrrha, excuse me Commander, but what would you have us do during all of this? Pons, all of you will be assigned a clone during this entire operation. Keeley, that's right, so that means Nikos you're with me. Hauser, I'll take Valkyrie. Pons, then mine is Ren. Just keep close and make sure you'll put an effort in this fight. Nora, trust me on this, we will. Hauser whispers to Keeley. Hauser, you know, it's kind of funny how the clones of the 636th adapted their personalities to the general's friends. Keeley, yeah, heard that Milo is very protective of the general. Monhild is very hyper whenever he uses the minigun. Storm is quiet but deadly, and Crocia is the main leader out of all of them. Hauser nods as Pons call on to the troops. Pons, alright, let's move. We need to eliminate the last of the Grim as soon as possible. All troops scramble and head into position. Team PRN followed their respective clone officers and head to their objective points. Pons alongside Ren got into position by the abandoned city with troops from the 187th Battalion. Keeley is perched up with Pyrrha in between the rocks and the debris all around the city. His company are all in position as well, waiting for the order to strike. While Hauser is with the ATTEs, Nora is beside the clones as she gets Monhild ready to blast those Grim into bits. Pons brings out the macro binoculars and looks at the ruins and sees a bunch of high-level Grim in the area. Pons, the Grim are in position. Hauser call it. Hauser, artillery, open fire. The ATEs began firing the cannons as they made impact with the Grim. Explosions can be heard as the Grim all scattered. They can see all the Beowulfs running away from the explosions, but were ambushed when Keeley's men all got out of their hiding spots and opened fire. They fired all their weapons and threw thermal detonators at the Grim, fired the RPS-6 rocket launcher at the higher level Grim, and used the E-Web heavy repeating blasters to lay down fire. Pyrrha uses her new upgraded Milo that now fires blaster bolts as she shoots the Grim down in 1 to 2 shots. Beside her is CT-3267 using the Vakan 38X. Both of them are taking down Grim with extreme precision. Court 3267. Nice shooting there, Pyrrha. Looks like you've got the hang of your new rifle. Pyrrha. Yeah, it's better than using dust as ammunition. It's more effective and can take out Grim easily. I just hope RWBY wouldn't try to puppy eyes her way to get these. Court 3267. I don't know what that is, but let's hope that does not happen. Pyrrha. Wait, watch out. Pyrrha was about to fire at a Nevermore heading their way, but CT-3267 quickly brings it down. Pyrrha. Wow, nice shooting there, Ace. Court 3267. Ace. Pyrrha. Oh, sorry about that. It was a term that Coco and the others usually say when I hit a target that they thought wouldn't be possible. Ace. Hey, I like it. Thanks, Pyrrha, now I got my name. Pyrrha. You're welcome. Keely's company continues to push the Grim back as Hauser called all the ATTEs to move forward as they begin to fire their laser turrets and cannon. Explosions and blaster fire rain around MT. Glenn. Pons battalion made a path towards the mountains as the 187th alongside the ATTEs made their way into their positions. Pons. I want lightning up here now. The AT's backside opens up as two ATRTs exit them and began making their way up to the front. Lightning Squadron forms up and began charging towards the Grim. The AT-RTs moved quickly towards the Grim and began firing their laser turrets, some even crushed them when they jumped on top of their heads. The Grim kept getting overrun by the AT-RTs as they outmaneuver them and flank from behind. They even threw thermal detonators at them as they exploded into pieces. One of the clones of Lightning Squadron contacts Pons. Razor. Sir, the area is clear. Pons. Copy that, the main force is moving in. The ATEs began moving to the ruins of the mountain as the rest of the group arrives. Pons. How's the situation on your end? Keely. We cleared out all the Grim in the areas, they seem to be falling back to those cliffs by the mountain. Hauser. Same goes for us, the artillery barrage took out all the higher class Grim, only the lower level ones remain. Pons. Good. Keely, I want you to take your company and the general's team into the mountains. It's time we capture the remnants of the White Fang here in Vale. A squad of clones will be waiting for you there to assist. Keely. And what will you do, Commander? Pons. We'll secure the rest of MT. Glenn and eliminate all Grim presence here. We'll use the Venator to deliver an artillery strike on their positions sooner or later. Keely. Copy that. Alright, you heard him, lads, let's go. As Keely alongside Team PRN head down to the mountainside. When they got there, they had two ATTEs stationed in the entrance and regiment of clones to cut off any White Fang that tried to escape. There, they met with the squad that will be joining them. They are led Clone Commander CC 3714, nicknamed Phil. Phil. Captain. Keely. Commander. What's the situation here? Phil. I had my men secure the entire mountain. Turns out this is the main entrance that leads to the caves. There's still that entrance from the breach, but that area is being sealed. Keely. So this is the only way in and out. Phil. Yup, we got them cornered. Keely. Then let's move. Phil commanded all his squads to gear up as they all head inside. Once they're in the caves, all the clones activate their headlights located in their helmet. Pyrrha's helmet is a mix of Captain Rex and Hunter's helmets. Ren's helmet is a combination of parts from the ARF Trooper, and the desert helmet used by the Wolfpack. While Norris is a combination of Fordo's and a Special Operations clone helmet. The clones showed Team PRN how to work them as they all continue their walk in the caves. Phil Squad Clone. I'm getting flashbacks just by looking at this. Phil Squad Clone. Yeah, we died in a spooky looking castle and now we're in a place similar to it. Phil Squad Clone. If we get attacked by a giant monster, I'm so done. Keely Company Clone. But we faced Grim. Doesn't that count? Keely Company. These things are nothing compared to the things we faced. Phil Squad Clone. Yup. Keely Company Clone. Heard that place was grievous. Lair. How bad was it? Phil Squad Clone. Place was a death trap, that's all I'm going to say. They continue their trek as the caves are still empty with no signs of life. Keely. You got anything? Phil looks at a motion tracking device he placed on his wrist comms. Phil. Movement is getting higher, if I'm right. They should be by the end of this tunnel. Keely. Alright then, men, once we exit through this pathway, set your weapons to stun. We want them alive. All the clone nods as Team PRN does the same. Keely, Nora, use the smoke grenades in your backpack. Once I give the call, fire. Nora, you got it. The clones exit the cave and reach the main area where it lead them to a huge open area. They see all the White Fang and from the looks of it, they're barely an army, probably around a small battalion more or less. Keely and Phil got into a scouting position and looked through their rangefinders and RWBY binoculars. Keely, the White Fang's numbers are far fewer than anticipated. Phil, looks like majority of them were either wiped out or captured back at Beacon. Keely, yeah wait. Keely looks closely and sees Adam Taurus. He's sitting by one of the crates with bandages all around him and he's wearing a sling. From the looks of it, his injuries did not heal. Keely, we got confirmation that Adam Taurus is here. Phil, once we get down there we stun him immediately, have a squad perched up by those rocks and provide cover fire. Once we give Nora the signal to fire, we all charge in. Phil, got it. Both of them regrouped with the team. Pyrrha, so, what's the plan? Phil, we got confirmation that Adam Taurus is here. Nora, once we give you the signal, I want you to fire all the smoke grenades you have. There's a setting in the gun that should fire all 8 rounds at the same time. Once that happens, Keely's company will charge in and stun as many White Fang as we can, but our main priority is Adam Taurus. I'll have my men provide cover fire from that ridge over there. Keely, we need to make this fast to not let Taurus escape. Now let's move. Keely and Team PRN alongside Keely's company slowly and quietly went down the pathway leading to the main area, while Phil commanded all his troops into position. They all ready their DC-15 rifles. Phil, Niner, Bell, you're with me. Let's go. All units got into position and waited for the order. Keely gestures Nora to fire and nods. As her weapon fires one round that splits into 8 and falls to the ground, smoke began bursting out of it. WFG, what the? WFG, we're under at. The grunt was silenced when the clones started firing stun rounds at them. Adam, all of you fight back. You, give me your weapon. The grunt gives his sword to Adam as he charges into the fray. Meanwhile the clones make easy work dispatching the White Fang. Ace got into a sniping position and began stunning the grunts one by one. Same goes for Phil's squad on top of the ridge. But suddenly one grunt nearly got the jump on Ren when he took out a group but was saved by CT 4484. Ren, thanks, you're a lifesaver. Court 4484, no problem, I got your back. Pyrrha and Keely dispatched more White Fang as she has Milo in spear form and a DC-17 pistol as she protects Keely from grunts that charge at them. When all of a sudden Adam appears out of nowhere and tries to attack them, but Pyrrha blocks his attack with her shield. Keely, quickly stun him. The clones began firing as Adam runs to dodge their shots. Nora fires a bunch of grenades to try to stop him. While Ren and Pyrrha charges at him, Pyrrha activates the jetpack and boosts up and delivers an aerial strike. Adam blocks it, but due to his strength being weak due to the injuries, he struggles. Then Ren jumps and delivers a flying kick that sends Adam rolling to the ground. But before Adam could get up he was punched in the face and was knocked out. The one who did it was CT 5999. Ren, good job, looks like he's knocked out. Keely, he was probably weak due to the amount of blaster bolts he sustained back at Beacon. Court 5999. Yeah, it's better I knocked him out than listen to him ramble about how we ruined all his plans and that we will all pay. Pyrrha, I have a feeling he'll do that. Nora, wait, I thought of a name for you. Court 5999, really now? Nora, yeah, how about we call Knockout? I show you punch them all those White Fang and you did the same with the evil edgelord. So that's your name, Knockout. Knockout, Knockout, huh. I like it. Nora, yay, now it's only you left. Court 4484, well I think I have, and Ren over here might know what the name is. Ren, it's Lifesaver right? Lifesaver, yup, the name just kinda stuck so I went with it. Ace, kinda like me when Pyrrha gave me my name. It just stuck. Nora, yay, it looks like Team JNPR gave Fearless Leaders clones a name. Ace, I'm sure the general would love to hear this. Keely, I'm sure he will mend, but let's cut the chatter for now and bring these people out of here, and make sure Taurus is restrained. Ace, yes Captain. The clones and Team PRN all brought out the stunned White Fang into the gunships as all of them are placed in aura cuffs. They also made sure to keep a close watch at Adam to make sure he doesn't escape. Once they made it in the gunships, they took off from MT. Glenn. Pyrrha. So what happens now? Keely. Once we're done here, we'll take you back to Beacon. But the general said, to be ready in case he wants you to partake in any of our missions. Nora. And we'll be ready. Ren. Indeed we will be. Pyrrha. Don't worry, John can count on us. Keely and the clones inside the gunship smile under their helmet. The general really has amazing friends. As the gunships make their way back to Beacon. Chapter 9. John. So we now have Adam Taurus in custody. John is being shown as a hologram as him and the commanders of the 636th are having a meeting in their base that they set up in Beacon. Crocia. Yes, General, he's being held in the brig as we speak. John. And we also have the prisoners from that raid in MT. Glenn. Right. Milo. Yes, we've been interrogating them and so far all of them except for Taurus have been cooperative. We have the info to condemn the White Fang in Menagerie. John. Good, with this info we can finally end the White Fang and establish a more peaceful organization. Monhild. General, what's the status regarding the other locations? John. Well, we already set up the main HQ and cloning facility in the Dragon Continent. The people there are very helpful to us and volunteered to join our cause. Storm. Wait, really? John. Yup, we already set up a training base for them. The Alpha Arcs and a group of 200 commandos will train these guys for a fight. Crocia. That's good, at least when half of our forces leave to fight the Empire at least Remnant has a military force to fight against the Empire. John. Indeed, also I've informed Thorn that his forces will be leaving Vale and heading to Argus to link up with Thyre and Fox as well as the 442nd Siege Battalion. Keely, Hauser and Pons will remain here in Vale. Monhild. That means the 636th is leaving Vale. John. Only a small detachment. I'll take the Knights of the Round, Valkyrie Squadron, the Heavenly Spirits and Trojan Squad. They'll assist us in setting up operations all over Remnant. Bakara is in Solitas, Bly is in Vacuo with Jet, and Neo is in Mistral with Apo. The rest of the army is scattered. Crocia, I want you to stay here and keep an eye on Ozpin. I want to know what he's planning. Crocia. Understood, General. John. Good, I'll keep in touch. Oh, and Commander, I sent a ship back to Beacon that will head to Menagerie. Bring Blake Belladonna with you. You'll need her for this mission, trust me. The holocall ends. Crocia. Captain. A clone captain approaches the four commanders. This is the leader of the Knights of the Round, Arthur. Arthur. Sir. Crocia. Contact a team to bring Blake Belladonna to the ship. We'll need her to get entry to Menagerie. Arthur. Yes, Commander. As Arthur began contacting the Knights of the Round. Arthur. Gawain, Galahad, please fetch Blake Belladonna and bring her to the ship. Gawain. Understood, Captain, we're right on it. The Knights of the Round, a division in the 636th Legion comprised of the elite, handpicked by John. Those that were selected were named after a knight that came from the stories that John read. If one knight were to be Kia in battle, the next clone will take their place and would inherit the name only with a slight difference. For example, if a knight, Percival, is killed, the next clone will inherit the name and be called Percival too. Their armor is the same as the clones of John's division led by Crocia, with the added ammo pouch like what the ARC troopers have, and only difference is they have different marking and their color is golden. They have the emblem of the specific knight on their shoulders and their helmet has a knight design. In the hallways of Beacon, two clones of the Knights of the Round were sent to pick up Blake Belladonna. Galahad. I can't believe we have to bring her to this mission. Didn't the boys say that she's trouble? Gawain. According to the boys from Keely's company, the general's friends said that girl is nothing but trouble and we should make sure to keep her in check. Galahad. And how bad did they say dealing with her was? Gawain. Bad. Very bad. As both clones entered the classroom, they see Port having a class. When all eyes were all on them. Port. Hello gentlemen, to what do we owe the pleasure? Gawain. We just need to make an announcement. Both the clones head down to the center. Gawain. Alright, Blake Belladonna, are you here, right now? Blake. Yes I am, is there a problem? Young. Yeah, what did she do this time, huh? Blake. Young, be quiet. Blake then looks at the clones. Blake, please continue. Gawain, the general has requested you head to one of our ships for a mission. He said it's regarding your home of Menagerie. He says you'll help in what's about to happen. Blake, wait, you want me to join you to Menagerie? RWBY, wait, we're her team, why aren't we going as well? Galahad, the general only requested for her, not you or the rest of your team. Gawain, also she is needed for the negotiations that will happen in Menagerie and none of you will contribute to it, so we advised you follow orders and stay here. Blake, guys, it's okay. I'll be fine, these guys will keep me safe. Young, but, Blake, no buts, I'll follow the rules this time and won't cause another mess. Please don't follow me. Blake then began standing up. Blake, I'm ready to leave. Gawain, alright then, we'll escort you to the ship. On their way out, Gawain and Galahad see Weiss heading to the arena. When they got close, Gawain shoves Weiss out of the way as she trips and hits her ass on the floor. Gawain, watch your step, washboard. Gawain walks past Weiss, not batting an eye as Galahad takes one glance at her and continues walking. Weiss, ah, you impossible clones. Team PRN were snickering when they watched what happened to Weiss. Young, what are you laughing about? Huh, Pyrrha. Oh, it's nothing. Just watching a snobby brat know her place. They continue to the cruiser where they were met with CC-3636 nicknamed Wolf, the commander of the Wolfpack. Gawain, Galahad, Commander. Wolf, is that her? Gawain, yup. Wolf, alright then, come on kid, let's head inside. Wolf escorts Blake inside the ship as Gawain and Galahad went off back to Beacon. Inside the ship, Wolf takes Blake to the cockpit area where she was met with another clone commander, RWBY. RWBY, that's her. Wolf, that's her. RWBY, then let's get on our way. The clone pilots then start up the ship as it took off from Beacon and heads its way to Menagerie. RWBY, so what's the plan, Wolf? Wolf, once we arrive in Menagerie, our main priority is to speak to the Belladonna family. The general reported to us that they will see to reason to what has happened to the White Fang. We can't talk to Sienna as she will see us as hostile. Blake, but Sienna wouldn't allow this kind of attack, this was all Adam's doing. RWBY, oh we know. As RWBY pressed a button in the console as a video appears in the screen, showing Adam in the brig. Blake, wait, you captured him. RWBY, yup, and majority of the White Fang that were still alive from the Battle of Vale. They told us everything, about their plans and what they were trying to achieve. Hopefully with this evidence we will condemn Sienna for allowing this to happen and fix the White Fang to what it once was. Blake, but what happens if she doesn't? Wolf, then we'll do things the hard way. Blake nods and looks down, she'll have to make sure it won't come to that. Clone pilot, commanders, we're making our way to Menagerie now. The commanders looked at the window and so does Blake as they came to a full view of the island of Menagerie. They see the cruisers in the skies with fighters patrolling the area. Blake, wait, why aren't your ships close to the island? They all seem to be far away. RWBY, wouldn't want the populace to get scared, they might think we're Atlas. Wolf, it's best we send our ship first to inform them that we are not a threat and with you hopefully they won't attack us immediately. Blake nods as the ship makes it landing at the Belladonna household. Outside, the guards all aim their spears at the ship as Blake's father, Gira Belladonna, steps out. Menagerie guard, chieftain please step back, we don't know who will come out of that ship. Gira, and are we certain this ship is an enemy? Menagerie guard, it looks like Atlas sir and we need to be sure of it. Then suddenly the ramp opens up as the guards get ready but Gira tells them to stand down, because he saw his daughter, Blake alongside the two clone commanders, RWBY and Wolf. Blake, hello father, it's been a while since we saw each other. Gira, indeed it has Blake and you've seemed to brought some guests with you. Blake, yes, but we have a lot of things to talk about father so it's best we head inside. Inside the Belladonna household, everyone got settled in as they began to have the talks. Gira, so Blake you haven't introduced me to your friends. Blake, well there. Wolf, I'll do it Blake, hello I am CC-3636 but you can call me Wolf and this here is CC-1004, his name is RWBY. Gira, why the numbers though? RWBY, well, let's just say when we were born these were the names we were given, just numbers and nothing else. Gira, why? Wolf, because we're clones. as they took off their helmets, revealing themselves to be clones. Gira. Clones. How is that possible? Is that the work of some kind of semblance? Blake. No, Dad, it's not a semblance. These people are part of the Grand Army of the Republic. Gira. Grand Army of the Republic. I never heard of them. Wolf. That's because we came from a galaxy far, far away. As Wolf and Gree began explaining to Gira about the Clone Wars and all the events that led to this. Gira. I see, so what are you doing here exactly? Gree. We want to establish peaceful relations with Menagerie. With us being here there will be a lot of changes involving Remnant and we are starting here. Wolf. We have ships on standby to deliver supplies for your people and to establish a new communication system for Remnant. Considering the CCTS is utter garbage, the General decided to change that. Gree. And we need your approval of this to prevent anyone from thinking we are a threat. Gira. I see. Blake. And Dad, they have some evidence regarding what the White Fang has been doing. Gira. What evidence? Gree nods as Wolf presents Gira a datapad filled with info on what has happened in Vale and all the statements that the captured White Fang prisoners told them. Gira. This. I can't believe it. Does Sienna know this? Gree. From what we know, no. That's why we need to present this evidence to her. Who knows if Taurus associates are still out there. Gira. And where is Taurus right now? Wolf. In a cell. He won't be getting out of there for a long time. Blake. We best head to Sienna now, Dad. Who knows what the other members of the White Fang are planning and I don't want this to end in bloodshed. Wolf. She's right, we need to go now before anything goes wrong. Gree. Don't worry about getting attacked, we each have a squad waiting outside. We'll keep you guys safe. Wolf. So shall we be off then? Gira. Well, alright then. Lead the way. They nod as both Gree and Wolf led Gira and Blake outside. This is the end of part 3 of this What If. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel.